Okay, welcome. Today is another part of our tutorial, and there are couples of tutorial on this channel coming up, and like about hundreds plus tutorial. But today is another part of our web design using JavaScript, HTML, and that of CSS. So, uh, basically, we are going to create this web page wherein you got a picture slide after some seconds it slides, and then like you got information sparse like a logo or some other thing about hotel accommodations, and you got some other informations relate to some other numbers wherein you can contact, or you got it here like the contact and everything. And just like you got it the menu, just like this one, the menu wherein you can select, and like if you want to go. So like actually what this thing is doing here is that it's looping. After every time it loops, after some second it loops, and after some second it loops. So we are going to create this page. You can also use some other images best desired by you. I just use this as a sample. You can use some other images probably for business. Maybe you got some goods, materials, you want to create a page like this where you can use. It's also fine, it works better. So but before then we go into the tutorial. uh just to notify you, there are couples of languages that I got some videos and tutorial on this channel coming up soon. You got JavaScript, which is like what we just did now, and we also have some JavaScript below. So you can also check on this channel. There's a lot of videos on JavaScript, and we got like Java, like HTML, and you got CSS, Java animations. You got like C++. Also, I got some couples of tutorial, and you can see language. Also, then like I got some database tutorial coming up. If you want to learn how to like manage database and work on database, there are couples of tutorial coming up. And you also got like you got Python, and there are couples of tutorial coming up on the Python too, and some other languages. So all you need to do is try to like subscribe to my channel, and click down hit down the notifications button, so then you can be notified whenever I post new videos, because there are couples of tutorials will be coming up on this channel. So but before then, let's move into our web design today, how to create this responsive page, and how to create the animations where in the image slide after some seconds. So if you just coming on this channel to watch tutorial, do not like don't worry, I'm going to take my time to go into the tutorial of this web page, and everything I will explain. Every part of it I will try to explain in the best of my ability, and all you need to do is just stay tuned and enjoy yourself and enjoy your web design using JavaScript, HTML, and that of CSS. Okay, so now what we do is for each of these pages, like I said from the beginning of the tutorial, if you have some other pages where desired by you want to use, all you need to do is like create a file here. You can create a file. I already have some file here, and but you can create your self file, and you include those pictures just like I have here. You include those pictures within the file. Rather, you create a file here, and you name the file you create, then you include all of those pictures in the file. Then like it will come here, and then you can select them to use them. So it's what I did. Like I created a file, and I included all of those pictures. You see here there are different kinds of pictures here from, and I just included. And whether the picture is large, is smaller, just include it. You can try to resize it with that of the width, the height, and that of the length. You can resize it with CSS. So don't worry, all you need to do is create a file, and then you include all of your pictures within that file. If like you got hundreds of pictures, or like lesser than 100 you want to use, you can also include within the file. So now all we need to do is create our new HTML page. Basically there are some tutorial like I thought, and like you got like HTML page is different, you got CSS page is different, and you got the JavaScript page is different. But for this tutorial I'm just going to include everything on one page, like on one HTML page, and so that, but I will take my time to go into the code. So now let's try to create a page. Here you come here and you create a page. So let's say this one, and then like okay, so let's say this one, I already had this page is empty, so I just want to use it. Or probably you can create some other page, like you come here, like here you come here and you create a page, give the name of the page you want. So for this I just name my page or image slides and dot if dot html. So if you put HTML, that means you want it to be in the HTML logo, and if you put JS, that means it's for JavaScript, and if you put CSS, that means it's for CSS styling. So you should know, probably if it's your first time coming on this tutorial, or you just begin with web design, you should know the difference between these things when you are creating your page. So if you put CSS, then that means you put it for styling. If you put JavaScript, that means it's like sometimes the image color change here, you got JS. Or you put HTML, and then you got this design. So basically we are creating our HTML page here. So you just click OK, and this is the HTML page. This is the empty page. You see here, this is the empty page. This is the empty page. It makes no sense, it's just empty, you see here. So we are going to use this empty page and then create this wherein we can get this design here. So we are going to program it, and using this empty page and making this thing is what we are going to do now. So now let's go into our tutorial. So what I will be doing is like because the code are pretty like much, so but not very much. So I'm going to like copy and then explain each section of the codes. So all you need to do is if I'm explaining faster, or if I'm really speeding up with the tutorial, you need to just pause the videos and you write the codes, and each of the codes you see, you try to read them, then we move forward. So okay, yeah, so okay, this is an empty page, and you can give the title of your page, anything you want to give you can do. So for the page I just named it Aloysious. So I try to run it, and you see, so this is the page we just created. This is the page, is an empty page. So we try to write all of our code within the page now, and see step by steps. So like first we just create, like I told you, we are not going to like create a separate files for that of the JavaScript and that of the CSS. So every one of them we are going to use the same page. So let's just create a space for the styling, rest style, and you got it here. So in between here we are going to write our CSS. So here basically we are going to write our CSS in between here. Here we are going to write our CSS, and then we are also going to write our JavaScript here, or in between here. Okay, so in between here we are going to write our JavaScript. So okay, here we read our CSS, and which is the styling of the web page, and here we read our JavaScript for the back end. So let's move forward. So all you need to do for me is like be copying the code as I paste the codes, and you copy the code. So these are all classes. You got like dot my slides, and then you got a weight which is 100%. You got a height auto, background size 100%. You got a border none. You got positions right, and you got margin left, and minus 400 pixel. You got padding, and you got like all of these things. The margin top. So this is actually for the image. I take you there. This is actually for the image, the length, the height of this image, and then the weight and everything. Uh, there are different kinds of images here. You got like some of them they are larger and some of them they are very smaller. But because of the styling here, all of them have the same size. You cannot see any difference here to see that this is bigger than the next one or this is bigger than the previous one because of the styling. So basically what we are doing here is we try to arrange them and make them very even so they can work together because of the help of the CSS, which is the styling of the web page. So you should know that because these things is beautiful like this is because of the help of the CSS. And you see after then a slide, after some time a slide is because of like the help of the CSS. So we are going to go into some part of it. So all you need to do is just write the codes here as you see it. Just write each of the codes here. And if I'm talking fast, all you need to do is pause the tutorial and take your time. You write the codes. So this is the slide container. Do not worry, all you need to do is to write the code. If we finish, then I explain some sections of it to you. So just copy the codes. Copy the codes. Okay, so now we try to like add another part of the code. Add a new part of the codes. So this is a new sessions I just added. This is a new sessions I just include right now. So you can copy this part. At first, I included this one. I copied this one. You see here from here, and we stopped here, and then I just included this one. So you can also see, and you see here. So from here down, I just included it. You see it. This is for the animations of the dot dot. You see here each dot. After every time you see each dot. So this is the animations that it move, it pass over another one. It just like it's moving in the background. Using the color here, this lemon green, we're using it. So you see everything here. So you see here the dot. This is the dot class and everything here. So we will go into the HTML and then you will see what I mean. So now if we try to make changes here, like this color is green and we want to change it to something like let's say white, and you see definitely if we try to run it, it will try it like it will change. But let's go into the code first, then I can show you all of these things. So copy this one, this part of it from here, you copy it. Pause the videos and then you copy the code, which will help a lot so you cannot miss anything. Please copy everything like you see here. Okay, so from up and then I scroll down rather so you can see. So we end here. This is the first sections of our code, which has to do with like the styling and is under the CSS, and then we copy another sections about code which is the is a part of the HTML. So let's go into it and see. So now I just included another sections of our code. You see here, this one has to do with the images. That's what I told you from the beginning of the tutorial. I said, like, if you have some other image and you want to include, you try to like add it within a file. So you see all of these images here, they are included within a file. You got here, you got h0. Let me show you so you can identify them. You got h0.jpg, h1.jpg, h2.jpg, h3.jpg, up to about 30 or 40. Like you got 32 h32.jpg. So in order to identify the pages with different names, and every one of them works together, you see. So if you want to use some other images, maybe your goods or materials, something you got, you want to like make it to slide so the public can see, or your customer can see. So you try to identify it with different kinds of name, because if all of these pages use the same names, probably it will you cannot it will repeat. You see, it will have like problem. So you try to change the name, and then also you should take into consideration when you changing the name to remember the name, so that the names of the images cannot repeat. Because if you got h0.jpg and after 3 steps you got h0.jpg, it will actually repeat and it won't be nice. So you see, after every step here you got different kinds of like image and doing its own work, right? So this is it, and you can include your class. After you include it, this is the class, and you got slideshows container. So this is the class for the image, for all of the image. You see, this is the class, and then you got like each image got its own class. You got like my slides, my slides, my slides, my slide, and then everything here you got its own class. So you can take into consideration these are all the images. So I got a lot of images here, a lot of them. So all you need to do is, you don't have to read all of these things. You don't have to read all of these things. All you need to do is you come, you read this one, and you identify the class of your image, and then you read this one. You just need to read this, and then you include your image. Once you have included your image, you copy each of these. You copy each of them, you paste it. Then you change the names. You see here src, and then it's like for your image, and then you include the image name here, a light, then is my slide, the name of the class you included here, and the weight you want it to be 1150, and the height you want it to be 570. So, and then you close your tag. Then you come again, you copy and you paste, and then you just change the image name. Now you are not changing the height anymore, because if you change the height here to any numbers that is not like this, that means to say one will be longer or one will be larger than the other. So you see all of these images, they are using the same height, they are using the same weight, they are using the same height. The height is 570 and the weight is 1150. So all of those images that I'm using, the weight and the height are the same. So if you have like one image is larger than the others, it won't like make a problem, because the here you already identify the height and you identify the weight. So it will resize to that extent, then it can fit with the other images, right? So you don't have to read all of these things. I wrote them because I need to do it so that you can see the beauty of the page. But you can just read this, and then you copy it and you paste it, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and then as many as you want, as many images as you have in your computer or your files, you just change the name here. I got h0.jpg. So here you see everything here is the same, h0.jpg, and then they hide the weight and then the class, right? Every one of them has the same class. If you give one another class and you give another one another class, that probably is a problem, except you include all of the properties. So every one of them has the same class here, you see. So I got h1.jpg, h2.jpg, h3.jpg, h4.jpg, h5.jpg, upward. It is going on and on. It is going on and on, and it stopped to probably like h33.jpg. So this is the highest number I'm seeing here. So you can give it as many as you want. You can include many pictures as you want. So this is just the first category of the second category of our code. So you can follow the procedure and you read it. Like I said again, you don't need to copy all of these things. You don't need to read them. All you need to do is read one of these, which is this one, and you copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Then now you can just change the name of your image here. You change the name of it. If you got image 0, you include image 0.jpg. Image 2, you include image 2.jpg. Image 3, you include image 3.jpg. On and on with all of the names you got here. And then all of those images will be included, right? Sometimes you should also know, sometimes the image come in JPG or PNG. So you should take into considerations. Sometimes the devices the image pass through before it reach to the computer, the name can be converted. Sometimes it comes in PNG, sometimes it comes in JPG. So if you have PNG here and you put JPG, it won't work. You will have error. So you should also take into consideration the name of the image at the end. If it is in JPG, like now I got this picture in JPG, then you come right here again, another picture here, this one is in PNG because the device is passed through, it has been converted, right? This other picture is in PNG, this other one is in JPG. So take into consideration the name of the images, and then at the end which category is in. So if it is in PNG, you also remove this and you put PNG. Just you do it for all. If all of those pictures they are in PNG, you put PNG. If they are in JPG, you put JPG. If some are in JPG and some are in PNG, you try to write them according to their categories. Okay? So after you read this one, you only copy this one and you paste it. You paste it as many pictures as you got, and then you change all of the names. And then if the weight is too much for your computer, you can change it depending on what you want. But remember, if you make any changes here, the changes should be made for all images. All images. Do not make changes for one, or it will loop. Okay? Or it will have a serious problem. So now after doing all of this, I want to go over the code so you can see from the beginning here. So this is the end of this first category CSS, and we come to the HTML here. All of these pictures, you see, all of these pictures, it's just the same thing repeating because I have so many pictures, so you see it repeating, and this is the end. So now I will try to run the code so you can see. Okay, so you see here, I try to run the code now. This is the first image I got. This is the second. You see all of these images, they are not sliding because there is no JavaScript included yet, you see. So these are the images I got. These are the images. I also downloaded some of these images on Instagram, so you can reference to them. You can search for apartment and then you can download some of these images. Someone told me that they like the image or most of the images, so you can download them from Instagram. It's nice. So okay, now basically let's try to add some of our code, and let's try to add some of them, and you see what we have. So now I just included some sections of our code after writing this, after writing the HTML for that of the image. You see everything here. Then I include the HTML for the dot. All of these dot you see here, after every time you see dot, every time. So these dots are actually the numbers of pages we got, right? These dots are actually the numbers of pages we got. So take into considerations, if you have 40 pages, you should have about 40 dots. If you have 60, you should also have the same numbers of dots you include, right? So the number of dots, you should have the number of pages. The number of pages should be the number of dots. Okay? So here is the HTML section of the dot. You see here, this is the style, text, align, center, and all of these dots, they are all in the center. You see here. Actually, at first we had text on. There was a text on here. I erased it because I wanted this to be much beautiful, like you see now. So this is not quite important. But if you are to include text here, you can take into considerations of this one. So these are the dot. You see, these are the dot. They are spinning, and these are all the dot. So all of the class for the dot is the same, class dot, class dot, class dot. So this is not actually hard for this one. You can include the numbers of dot as compared to the numbers of images you got. So all of these images got yourself, they got dot assigned to them. So this is it. You see here, each image here you got dot here, and you got dot. So you can reduce them. It's not forced that you have, like, it's not mandatory you have so many dots. No, it depends the amount of images you got. So you can reduce them if you want. So now let's try to run it and see what we got. So I'll slide down and see. So now the dot is not including yet. The action has not been, like, showed up. You see, we still got like the plain page with that of the images. You see, so you see the beauty of the styling. All of these images, they are big, some of them they are large, some of them they are very small, but you see every one of them got the same size. You see, so this is the beauty of the styling. So now let's include some of our code, and so you can see. So now, one of the most important part of our code is like the JavaScript, because it is the JavaScript we got that trying to slide these pages like this. Every time it slide over, every time it over, each page just slides like that. So this is one of the most important part of our code, and I want you to take into consideration. This is the code for the JavaScript. This is the code. You got variable, you got index. This is the abbreviations for variable, and you got var, and you got slide index. It starts from 0. So you see here the image start from 0. Actually, in the index, it starts from 0, and you got slide show. You got the functions here, slide shows, and you got variable I, and then like here is looping. So you got slide show dot document get element by class name. So you see my class. This is the class for that of the image. You see here my class. Everywhere you got my class, my slides, my slide. So my slides, everywhere you see it repeating. All of these images got the same class name. So everything that happens here, if this one take effect, it will affect every one of them. You see. So anything that happens, once anything you read here, it will affect all of these images you got. All of these images, it affect them. So this is what happening here, and get element by class name, and then the name of the class you included, my slides, and you got variable dot, and is equals to document dot get element by class name. So this is the dot, the name of the dot class. Each of these dot you are seeing here, each of these things, each of these dot, this red dot, each of them. So this is the name, and you see here this is the class for it. So what happens here is that if each image, each image, each dot, like I told you from the beginning, each image, each image, each dot. So the JavaScript here is actually like looping after every image loop and the dot loop with it. After every image loop, the dot loop with it. That is what happening here. And then it's from the index. It start from 0, right? And you say start dot display none. So you see here, this is the looping aspect. You got slide index plus plus, and you say is if slide is greater than slide dot length, slide index equal 1, right? For I is equal to 0, I is less than dot, the length, I plus plus, dot I class name, and you got dot I class name dot replace and active. So every time it slide within the index, it slide is like looping here. Here is the loop. Every time it slides like that. So everything is doing here like it pass after one another is looping. This is the animations is looping, and you got slide index and -1 style dot display blocks. Like, so every time it slide it display images, and then so basically this is the code for that of the JavaScript. And then one thing you should take into consideration is you want to know about the time. uh, every time it slide and then it slide very fast, that you want to know about the time is because of like how I give the name here. Here you got like 2000, here is like 200 seconds, like it's like 2 seconds, 2 milliseconds rather. Yeah, it's like if I include 3000, it's like 3 milliseconds. If I include 4, upward and on and on. So this is the second, the time. Okay, you got here time out and slideshow. So this is the time. If I like add more numbers here, if I like probably I add like 7, it will take much time than what we have now. So this is the time, and this is the part of the JavaScript. This is the only part we got for the JavaScript. So you can see this is the only part. So here is looping. This is the loop and incremental operator. They are plus plus and every time. So you see here. So I want you to take into consideration of the JavaScript part. Okay, so now this is the code. There is nothing different here. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So I slide down so you can see. So this is the JavaScript class. You can try to like read them, and let's run it and see if it has makes any impact. So you see, we're still waiting here to see. We're still waiting, but like now it's happening in the background. Like if you run it now, you see the dot shows. You see fastly it happen. You see the dots show up. So like now there are still few other code need to be included. Then we can have it. So now let's go ahead. All right. So let's include this other section of the code. This is a new session, so I just included. This one is actually for the menu, like this one, where you got the informations down here. This is for the menu and all of these things down here. So let's go ahead and include it. This is the menu, and you see here you got like all of these things. They are for the menu. All of this information, you got home, you got central locations, and you got like culture and activities. Single bedroom or family bedroom, you got couples rooms, and all of these things here include service facilities and that of contact. All of these things here, they are from here. So it's the down menu. Here you got them. So, and also here you got like the information that pass after every time. These informations here, it pass after every time, after some seconds or minute it pass back. So you can also include, this is the information. You got MAQ. It's actually MAQ. It's named MAQ, and like it like pass informations after some time it pass on information. So here you got the class of it. So it's coming from left. This is the class left. It should come from left, and if you also want it to scroll from right, it will scroll from right. So here is scrolling from left, you can see it, and this is just a short H CSS code for it. So read this part of the HTML and read this little part about the styling, which is the CSS, and also everything you see here. So here basically you see from here we just finished with JavaScript, the JavaScript sessions, and then we try to include the menu, this menu here that display these informations down here about all of the facilities we got here. So this is the menu, this is it, and the information that passed back, this is it, we got it here, and a little styling. So just read this one, and now we can include the styling for this so that it can start to move. We can see like the beauty, so that this one now it can start to move just like how that one is sliding. So let's try to read another code for it. So now this is the last sections of our code, and I just included it, you can see. So after writing this, we just wrote like we write this now, and then we also finish with this. We finish with the JavaScript sessions, and now this is the last section of it, which is the last styling for the web page, for this page itself. So let me drag it down so you can see. Okay. So okay, now we got this one here. Now you can read this. So this is the HTML, the body, this the design, and all of these things. The front family, like this one is for the text, the styling of the text and everything. So now I also want you to take into considerations. I include an image here, and you can also include an image what desired by you. This image is black and the background black. If you want it, you don't want to use image here, you can use color. You got color within this compiler. Probably I'll show you if you want to like red, yellow. Once you start to put the color, everything will come up, right? Or if you say like color, like some of them will start to come up and then color will start to pop up. So let me leave the black there. So all of these things, try to read them. Basically try to read from here downward. So let me slide over it one time by time, you see. So like you got background image url22.jpg. So the image that is in the background of this the web page design, the image that is in the background of this web page design, like this one we got here. Okay, like this one we got here, the image in the background in this, like you got this image here in this thing background, this brown image in this background. Yeah, so it's the same image here, it's the same image here. So you can also include some other image you want in the same background, you see, and then the size of it. So all you need to do is to pause the tutorial and read the codes. Okay, so now we finish. This is the end of our code. This is the end of our code, you see. So we will run it, then I will go and then show you the code again. So we try to run it. Now we got this. You see here, this is the image slide.html. This is our file name. If you come here, you see it's the same name of the file, and we try to run it, you see. So now we have the same thing we had before. Like the same thing here is the same thing we have, you see. So the same information pass after every time it passed by, after every time it passed by. So guys, thank you. Or if you didn't get all of the code, I will try to go over it again so you can see. So let's move up. Okay, this is the beginning. You got it here, and I try to scroll down. You see the title name, everything, and I try to scroll down. So this is the end of the code. This is the end. You got here. You see there is nothing down here. So this is the end of the codes, and you can see this is the end. And I'm showing back up so you can see this is some part of the HTML, and this is the part of the JavaScript, and this is the part of the dot, which is the HTML, and this part is for the image, all of those images we're using, and this part is for the pictures, is for the styling of the pictures, the design of it, the weight, the size, the length, and everything include, and this is the head of the page and everything. So now, like I told you, there are couples of tutorial will be coming up soon. So all you need to do is to subscribe to this channel and click down the notifications button, because there are couples of videos coming up on this channel for some of these languages. Probably you are interested in them, and you can subscribe to this channel and click down the notifications button. But for now, I end this tutorial, and thank you for staying with me, and thank you so much. Have a nice day. If there is anything that I've said and you don't understand, or probably I said some other things that you didn't get, all you need to do is to click to like comment below, and I will be notified, and then I can respond. Or there are some things you also want to understand, please, you can also take my WhatsApp number, contact me through my WhatsApp, or you can comment below. So thank you very much, and this is our page, and we just created this page. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye bye.